Hey guys. Well, today I am telling a story about some of my life experience that I hope to. Um, Hold on one second. It's having some things go on that I hope to help someone, probably myself, because I am sick and tired of the lies in my life and in everyone else's life, and I just need to speak about it, and I just don't care anymore. So when I was a little girl, um, my mom and dad were married in Colorado, and um, it was my favorite place in the whole world. We had this beautiful house right by the a river, and I would go down to the river every day and just draw in the mud and explore the wilderness. That was my ultimate favorite thing to do. And so I felt so at home. And one day, I my mom grabbed my sister and I, and we were moving out of the Colorado house. And I had no idea what was going on. And what had ultimately happened is my mom found out that my dad was having an affair with a woman that was 20 years younger than him. And I think she might have been pregnant at the time. So obviously, my mom decided to take off. And sorry about that. Okay. All right. Technical stuff. Okay. So um, this is why I want to talk about this, because what started happening in my life after that was extremely horrific. And I wanted to, my mom moved my sister and I to California, and my dad stayed in Colorado. And so my new stepmother had a brand new baby. And I wanted to see my dad as much as possible. So I remember being like maybe 6 years old and going to Colorado and then to Arizona to see them. And every time I was there, my dad worked crazy long hours, like from 4 in the morning to 4 at night. And then he would come home for about an hour and pass out. And that's all I basically got to see him. And so most of the time I was left with my stepmom and her two kids. And I just remember feeling really bad about myself the entire time that I was there. And the time that I got with my dad was really special and amazing. But the time that I wasn't, which was most of the time, I just remember being treated horribly. And I never really connected any of this until right now, because I've done a lot of spiritual work, and that work includes, like diving into my subconscious, pulling out what is, what isn't, and, asking God for healing, and things are revealed and things like that. Well, this stuff has just recently been revealed to me, and I want to bring it to the light, which means speak about it, share about it. I don't really care. So I knew I was being treated wrong as a very young child, and I remember being treated different than the other girls. And here's what would happen: I would be the only child in this group of two girls. Well, it was my sister at the time and her two kids, so three other girls. They were a little bit younger than I was, but at the same time, I was still treated horribly different. And I was made to do chores all the time. And I remember my stepmom telling me at times, and there was one time I even asked her, I remember this. I was like, how come I can't play like the other girls? And she said, well, you're older and you need to clean. And I remember that just made me feel really bad. That made me feel like I was not like, it made me feel like I was a bad child. It made me feel like I wasn't a part of or good enough to just be a little girl and play with the other little girls. Like I'm the one who had to clean while the other little girls got to play and they did not have to clean. And it made me feel completely less than. So if you can imagine, like my intuitive feeling was that I was being discriminated against, which that's how it felt. That's how it looked. And I was completely like separate from those girls. And I felt like I wasn't a part of like the family, or I wasn't good enough to just be a little girl and play. It was my summer break, and no, I was meant to be cleaning the entire time that I was meant to be just there to see my dad. But when my dad wasn't around, I would be cleaning. And I remembered saying something a few times to her about how I didn't think it was fair that I was the only one who had to do chores. And I remember just getting some nasty response. And I remember crying a lot. And I wanted to tell my dad. I didn't, though, because I should have told my dad, but I was afraid of her. I was afraid of what she would do to me if I told my dad. Like I knew the feeling that I had inside. And I'm going to relate this to now because she's still a monster. Like, and I don't care anymore. I will never speak to her or her minions, which I will explain that in a minute. But I like those feelings of being less than, being not included in the family, played out again just a few years ago. And now we no longer speak. And that is because of her and her lies. And I will explain that and how I absolutely know because I confronted her myself about it. Anyway, let me go back to where the start of this all happens. Like, I know that this happened to me because she was jealous of my dad and my relationship. I don't know exactly what it was, but I know that she was jealous of it, which is so disgusting, right? Like, you're jealous of his own child and his relationship and your relationship. So like she needed to treat me bad. And I have felt bad about this my whole life. And I just want to speak about it because, maybe there's someone out there who feels something very similar. And I just want to tell you that these people will attack your self-worth by making you feel not good enough in very subtle, slight ways. And the reason that is because you have a gift that is given to you by God, a gift of a quiet confidence, a self-worth that is unparalleled. You have an energy that these people cannot stand. And so your light, they can't stand because they don't have this same gift. So they try to attack you to make you look like the bad one, but it's all comes from lies and illusion and their own insecurity and their own self-worth issues. Okay. It's not your self-worth issues and it's not your insecurities. It is literally theirs. That's the whole joke. But these people will use other people to attack you so that you feel like you're the awful one. And she has done this to me just a few years ago where I completely stepped out of the whole family because they were all attacking me, which is a whole bunch of bull. And I'm just so inspired to tell the world about it because I don't give two shits anymore about her insecurities. I don't need to be silent anymore for her insecurities. You know, it was funny. There's so many signs about her wanting you to be quiet about the truth and not speak on the truth. Well, if you really want to say something, maybe you should just go only to that one person. I don't agree with you, you know, airing family issues. I don't agree with, well, yeah, too bad. You don't control me. You don't get to tell me, and I just don't care anymore. So anyway, I'm so pissed because I know what it has done to me my whole life, but these people count on you doubting yourself for the rest of your life. These people hope that your self-worth is so gone that nothing good happens to you. And unfortunately, see, magic just happens in my life, and it always has. Amazing things come to me and happen to me, and it's literally, it's a gift from God. It is not like me. It is that I can tap into my heart and I follow my heart. I don't listen to just my head all the time. And sometimes that looks crazy, but some people just don't have that gift because they shut off their true feelings and they need to use their attack towards other people. Okay. And they feel like they can steal and suck your self-worth, your confidence, your energy from you so that they can keep up their false mask, their image of I'm the good one. And unfortunately, they're the most evil POS that there is. So let's continue. So I didn't know what was happening to me as a little girl, that every time I was around her, I would feel depleted. I would feel so horrible about myself. And the last time that I went there, I remember I was in Arizona and I called my mom, crying my eyes out and begging her to come get me. And I knew it was her. I knew it was the step monster, but I didn't know why. And it is because she treated me awful as a child. How could you do that? You know, when you have kids, like I have 3, you treat them as equals. You don't treat any one of them less than the other one. And she treated me less than. And I'm just back to tell her that that was her own insecurities of being less than, not mine. So years and years and years go by. And I'm very spiritual. I'm very intuitive. And when my grandma died, which was his mom, she came to me in a dream and I knew it was her. It wasn't a dream. It was her. And I have been like this since a little child. And they have all told me, you know, they didn't believe in my connection abilities. And I was doubted by my dad that day. That I called and I said to my dad, he was in Arizona handling my grandma's affairs. And she had come to me in my dream and she said, you call my son right now and you make sure that he is taking care of my dogs. She wanted to know that her dogs were being taken care of. They were the most important thing to her. And when I woke up, I would think I was 17 years old. And I called him instantly and I said, Dad, I need to know what you're doing, what's going on with the dogs, because grandma's very worried. And he was like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, listen, she came to me in a dream and I know it was her. Like it wasn't a dream. It was her. I could feel her. I could smell her. I could it was like I was with her. And I'm telling you, she just wants to know that they are somewhere good. And he was like, well, I don't really believe in all of that. And I was like, I don't care what you believe. I got angry and I was like, I don't care what you believe. I just need to know so that she knows, because if I know in my heart, then she will know. There's something that I know I connect to the spirit world. My heart can feel it. And so he didn't believe me, but he told me what had happened with the dogs. And my grandma, I could feel her being like, thank you so much. I could feel her telling me, thank you so much, because the moment that I knew what happened to her dogs and that they were with one of her very good friends and both of them were together, then it's like she knew that it was okay, that the dogs were okay. And it, my dad not believing me that it really was my grandma really upset me. But more than that, it kind of made me doubt my own gift. And that's okay, because I don't doubt it now. I know for certain it was her, and I know that I can still speak with her. These people are alive. Their bodies are gone, but they're all in the kingdom of God. And when your heart can feel and sense the kingdom of God, you can feel and sense them, and you know that they're literally still with us. It's just they're in here now. And they literally are in your heart. You just have to be willing and open to feel them. And they've told me things that I wouldn't even know, anyway. Okay. So, and it is a gift from God that I have this. And so anyway, I have been very sensitive since I was a child. I remember telling one of my cousins things that would happen, like world events that would happen or certain things. And then a few days later, she'd be like, oh my God, it happened. Here it is in the news about Japan. There was a huge earthquake and I had seen it in my dreams. Anyway, so years later, my dad has cancer. My sister has cancer. And my stepmom sets up this group chat for all the siblings, because there's 9 siblings, and from my dad, different wives, but from my dad. And my dad didn't really reach out to me to tell me any of his illnesses, because he had told me that he just didn't want to give me bad news. So normally my stepmom would contact me. Well, for some reason, she was no longer contacting me to tell me anything that was going on with him. So I was invited to this chat all of a sudden, and I had no idea that my dad just got cancer for the second time and was really sick. Nobody told me. Had no idea. And so when I was invited to this chat, I was like, oh, okay, well, that's interesting. But okay, so I had wanted to send this apology to everyone about I don't even know what, because I was going back from my so I was very spiritual, loved tarot, loved crystals. Then something happened and I went more to the Bible. And then I went back to my tarot and crystals. And I just felt it was a good time for me to reach out and apologize to them for different things that I found were not true about God in all ways. And well, let's go back to that really quick. So I'm in this group chat, and that was the reason for this apology video. So my dad had called me and told me that tarot and crystals are evil. And I told him, I just don't believe that. I'm sorry to tell you, but I don't believe that. And he said, well, you know, I would not have called you, but the girls had seen this stuff in your bag and they came and told me. And I was like, my stepmom did? Sue came and told you? And he was like, yeah, I guess she saw your stuff in your bag and she just felt like she needed to tell me. And I didn't think about that then, but now I do, because I was like, she knew that he would not be able to not react to that. She knew. So she told him so that he would literally come straight to me and tell me that I was evil. It was of the devil, which is all complete, utter lies. Complete and utter lies. I'm going to tell you why I know, how I know that is complete and utter lies. First of all, okay, absolutely nowhere in the Bible does it say that tarot cards and crystals are of the devil. Okay? No. I spent enough time studying that thing to understand it. What it does say, though, is it says something about mediums or sorcerers or something like that. And back in their day, that's not what it meant at all. I will tell you what the truth is about evil mediums, and it comes more from exactly what this woman does. That's an evil witch, okay? So she passed this information to him knowing that he would come at me and attack me. And I know for certain that that would have like boosted her up, because she would have known that our relationship was hindered. And I'm not sure where that all comes from, but I believe it was because I had just been there visiting for like a week and she had seen our relationship again. And it reminded her of something that she was very jealous of from like when I was a child. And I know this 100% to be true. Okay. Literally, the woman who is with my dad is jealous of my relationship with him. I don't know why. It's not my business, but I do know that that's the truth. So, right after I left their house, that's when he called me and basically attacked my spirituality, which is a part of what I love so much. And I just want to say, if any of you or your minions are happening to watch, I hope you do see this. How dare you? You know it was you. How dare you? And I know because I have heard from Bud multiple times in the last few weeks of exactly what happened. So sorry to tell you, but dude, the gig is up. Okay. Uh, oh no, I'm pissed. I don't care. These people will mask themselves as like good Christians, okay? And it's like a wolf in sheep's clothing, how they operate. My sister, Jessie, is one of them as well. And so is this lady. And I know because they will use other people by going around and spreading lies to destroy your public reputation, to harm your image, to make you feel worthless, to feel bad. Okay. So let's go back. So now that had all happened. So I was not speaking to my dad barely at all. I had moved up to Washington. I actually did believe my dad after a while because I internalized that. And when I internalized that evil, he said what I loved was evil. I internalized it. I had something evil happen to me because I know how to, it's not that I know how to manifest, it's literally whatever I internalize will manifest outside of myself very quickly. This time it took about a couple months, and I had a spiritual crisis where I absolutely believed I was evil because of that. And so I moved up near them to Washington, and I went directly to a church and I started studying the Bible. And what I found was that everything they told me was not true. Based on my amazing pastor who I studied under. His name was Daryl, and he's amazing. And when I would read the Bible, like everything that it taught me about God was that, like, there's no punishment. Like, God loves all of us the way that we are and accepts us the way that we are. So there is no punishment, but God will also hold you accountable for your actions and for your issues. Like it says, he will teach you, but in a kind, gentle way. And so this to me was shocking because I thought I was so evil and I was against God and I deserved to be punished and all this stuff. Total, utter lies. Okay. So I had this I found out that my other sister had gotten breast cancer for the second time. And because she had guilted me so bad the first time that I wasn't there for her enough the first time, I was a horrible sister because I didn't show up for her enough. Oh, no, because I was dealing with my own life as well as showing up as much as I could. I felt bad. And I wanted to go prove to her, which I never needed to prove to her anything, but I did. I felt like I did. That I could be there for her the way that she wanted. And so I moved back down to California from Washington with my 3 kids to show her that I really did care. Well, when I was there, my sister, Jessie, had co-signed on my lease for my house in Washington. And it was coming up due for her to re-co-sign for me to sign my lease. And every time I asked her, she just was like, well, I don't know yet. I'm undecided, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I need to know. Like, I need to know as soon as possible. Okay. And so it was about a week and a half until literally I had to re-sign my lease or be out. And I finally got really angry and told her, dude, I need an answer. You either sign or that's it. And she was still like, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. And I said, you know what? Forget it. I I can't do this anymore. I'm done. And honestly, I was too ashamed to ask anyone else to co-sign for me for that lease in Washington. And so I just decided, well, we're staying here then. And so I called my dad and I was like, Dad, I can't move back. Things just got stupid. We're going to have to stay here. I have to be out of that house in a week and a half. Please help me. I've already called a good friend of mine, Rachel. Please work with her and clean out the house, donate everything. I don't care. I think I asked him to please keep my jewelry box and my dog's ashes, and that was it. And he said he would do it. Little did I know, I had no idea that he had told my stepmom to do it. I didn't know that. Had no clue. Well, she was obviously very angry at me. Had no clue. Don't know why she was angry at me. Well, I found out later why. So, on with the story. I don't care. I'm spilling my life story because you know what? I'm sick and tired of living in the shadows of her shame. My sister Jessie's shame. My stepmom's shame. No, shame on both of them for what they did to me to make me feel like I wasn't good enough to be part of the family. No, screw both of you. Okay. Anyway, so basically, uh, she was pissed that he told her to do the work. She never told me she did it. I thought he did it with my good friend. Nope. Okay. So let's get back to the part where all of a sudden I'm added back into this group chat. And again, here's my error in basically all of this is that I really didn't tell anyone what was kind of going on because I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed to say that I couldn't move back because Jessie wouldn't re-sign the lease for me. I was embarrassed. I was ashamed. And I didn't want to say anything. Jessie used that against me. She used that the co-signing thing. She literally held it over my head the entire summer. Like as if I was just this piece of crap. You know? Like, well, I don't know. We just don't know if we can co-sign for you and blah, blah, blah. Okay. So I called it when I knew I barely had enough time to have somebody up there help. So, like I said, normally my stepmom was the one who would keep me informed about Bud's illnesses. But because she was so angry about this moving thing, which she never talked to me about, I had no idea. She stopped informing me of what was going on. So my dad gets cancer for the second time. Nobody told me. No one, not even Jessie. Which, by the way, Jessie told me that she had no idea either. Basically, the moment that I was added to the chat, that's when someone just barely told her too. She did not know that, oh no, they just told, because after I found out, I called her and I was like, did you know? And she was like, no, they just added me to this chat. I don't get it. But when I went back and read some of the chats, like Jessie had known. The way she was talking, it was like she really knew. So she's a liar. So anyway, that's when I decided to send them all this apology video because I had no idea my dad was sick, like really sick. like he was in the hospital sick. Nobody told me. The reason I decided to send this apology was because I felt like I hadn't reached out to them to tell them why I didn't move back to Washington. So I did a video and I sent it to all of them. And instantly I got attacked by her minions, which is her daughters. All three of them, Anna, Catherine, and Lauren. They all sent me text messages almost immediately telling me how selfish I was because Bud was in the hospital, super sick, and I just used this opportunity for my selfishness and blah, blah, blah. And it was so funny because all three of them text me, not Lauren, because at this point, Lauren was not speaking to me whatsoever, which I had no idea she wasn't speaking to me. This is even more funny. These entitled, selfish little brats. Yeah. Send it, send it, send it. I don't care. So Lauren just stopped completely talking to me. Had no idea why. Okay. So, I don't remember why I finally reached out to her. Anyway, so they all, Catherine and Anna and Sue, I think, attacked me, basically saying, how dare me, how selfish. And I'm like, what are you guys talking about? I just found out that he had cancer for the second time this morning. And two, I had no idea he was in the hospital. I have no idea what you guys are talking about. No one told me. So I don't know what they thought. They thought that their mom told me. Like, no idea. Anyway, so that was super rude and despicable. And I was confused and I had no idea what was going on. Now I realize that she had been telling them awful things, not true things, her three daughters. And that's exactly why they instantly attacked me, which I thought it was Jessie, but I confronted her about it and she said it wasn't. Okay, anyway. So I'm just so glad to get this off my chest. I don't care. I just want to get it out. So basically, no, and it's a whole plot from these nasty, disgusting female narcissists who think that they can do this to people. They are extremely covert because that's why they use people to defend themselves so they can look like the good one. No, unreal. Okay. So after that happened, I literally was like totally shocked by all of their attacks at me. I was like, what the hell did I do? I had no idea. And then I felt like I had to apologize more because they're like, our mom's been in the ER with him or in the hospital all night and he's having fevers and like it's super serious. And I'm like, what? Oh my God, like, I'm sorry, I had no idea. And I felt like dog crap. I felt so bad. And now it's all making sense. Like it's literally boom, 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 all making sense now. I love how God heals. I love how God works. I love how the spirit world works because they're literally showing me it all right now as I'm sitting here. And it's like, oh my God, now it makes sense. I'm just disgusted by you people. This is me holding you accountable for your deceit, your lies, your absolute illusions of my public reputation. You can go suck it. Okay? Yeah, I don't care anymore. Mm-mm. So basically, I felt horrible for not knowing that Sue had been dealing with a sick man for like a week or so or something like that. Jessie told me she had no clue too. So if she lied, there you go. Anyway, so okay. I reached out to Sue and I apologized completely separately. Oh, because I got shamed for like trying to talk about something else in the chat or something like that. Oh no, they shamed me. So whatever. So total bullies, total nasty people. Okay. So I reached out to Sue and I apologized and I was like, I'm so sorry. I had no idea that you were dealing with this. I hope Dad's okay. So my dad gets better, things just kind of move on or whatever. And I realized like they're talking. So this chat is supposed to be for Cancer, for Jessie and Bud only, right? But all of a sudden the girls, mind you, it's all these siblings and all these girls in this chat who start talking about, oh, going out drinking and going out partying and doing this and how fun it was all together and whoa, right? And I'm like, oh, okay, cool, haha, funny. Mind you, the youngest sibling still will not say anything to me, which I'm like, hadn't really understood that yet. So whatever. Okay. So I'm moving on. And they're talking or whatever. And I kind of chime in here and there, like, oh my God, ha ha ha. No one responds to me. And I'm like thinking, what the hell? Right? Literally, what the hell? No idea what's going on. So, okay. So then Christmas comes around and I DM them personally or one by one to ask for their addresses to send Christmas cards. So I get two of the girls' addresses, Anna and Catherine, and then Lauren will not respond to me. Will not respond. So I finally text her after multiple times asking her for her address to send her a Christmas card. What's going on? And she's like, you know what? I'd rather just like not say anything so that I can be polite. But yeah, I don't want to talk to you because of the whole Caden thing. And I'm like, what Caden thing? What are you talking about? And she wouldn't tell me. And so I go in the group chat of all these girls and I'm like, what the heck is going on? So now I'm thinking that it is my sister Jessie who has spread all of these lies to these people time and time again, which she had gone around to all of my family members telling them that I was a child rapist. Complete, utter lies. Again, these people spread lies to make you look bad so that people stay away from you. Funny, huh? This is exactly what the step monster did too. Now that it's all coming to me. So I go in the chat and I'm like, what? Do you all think I'm a child rapist too? Because Lauren says she won't talk to me, blah, 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 blah. And I get immediately attacked by Catherine about how I'm toxic and blah, blah, blah. I mean, only toxic people tell people they're toxic, by the way, Catherine. So yeah, I have no idea what's going on. Still completely fucking utterly don't know. Come to find out, Lauren won't speak to me. She won't even tell me why. Okay, Catherine's being just nasty to me. They're having some 80th birthday for my dad, and I'm invited, but they just told me, and it's like a couple weeks away, and I've got 3 kids. So I chime in the group and I'm like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to go because I got 3 kids. That's kind of a lot of trying to work around. And she's like, Catherine says to me, no, we are not going to work around you, Angela. And I'm like, what? Okay. Little did I know her mother had been telling her all this bad stuff about me. And no one had asked me the truth. Not one of you came to me and asked me the truth. You guys are disgusting. You know what? When you hear things from other people that you don't know is true from that person, pick up the phone and call them. I don't care if it's coming from your mom. Disgusting. That is how these people who are so insecure cannot handle whatever it is they can't handle. They need to go around and ruin your reputation by lies to make you look bad, which I'm never going to convince these girls that I'm not. So I don't give a crap. Here's the truth. Okay. So all of a sudden, I am like already dealing from PTSD from domestic violence. And that just threw me into a tailspin of severe mental health. Thank you, girls. But the severe PTSD came from my own sister, who is extremely violent. And this is the same thing she does. Goes around, spreads lies, scares you into saying something by her threats and her violence and telling people all these lies about you. No, ridiculous. So what I found out was that and then one of the sisters, so Catherine says, why don't you just take yourself out of this chat? Mind you, this is supposed to be a family chat with the siblings. And then my stepmom chimes in and says, or someone says, that, well, she is part of the family, but this chat is only supposed to be for cancer talk. And I'm like, excuse me? What are you talking about? I have watched you witches, evil witches. That's what you are. Evil witches talk all kinds of stuff about your weekends, about your teaching credentials, about your parties, but I can't say anything in this chat. Oh, I wonder why, Sue, because you wanted me to have to suffer in silence with your anger and your hate that you had been spewing. You didn't want me to actually talk to Lauren or to come to the truth in that chat. Oh, no, no, no. You needed to tell me, oh, we don't talk about anything in here. If you want to talk about that, then you should go to each individual. And I'm like, I was trying to go to the individual. She won't speak to me. Total disgusting human beings. Okay. Step monster. Disgusting. I can't. Okay. If you see the isolation that she did to me, even through that group chat, if you saw how she had her little minions attacking me, Catherine, what was your problem with me? Have no clue. Was it Jesse feeding you lies or your mom? Because you didn't ask me. You just believed their BS. So here we go. Here's the truth. I reached out to Sue and sent her a text message and said, what is going on with Lauren? Because I absolutely know that it had to be Jesse feeding her lies, which is why she won't speak to me. And she said to me, well, Lauren can make her own decisions, but basically, everyone here is angry that you didn't move back here. And we all know it was because of Caden. You stay there because of Caden. And I said, what? That's not the truth. So Jesse told you that? And she's like, no. And I'm like, well, who told you that? And she's like, well, I mean, we just all assumed. And I said to her, I have not spoke to him in 6 months. We have no relationship right now. The reason I didn't move back to Washington is because Jesse wouldn't co-sign on my lease. Jesse's well aware of this. And I asked her, please stop telling your daughters lies about me. And she said, I don't lie. Okay, well, you assumed wrong. But in your assumption, now that you know the truth, that that was nowhere near the truth, did you go tell your daughters the truth? No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Absolutely not. You didn't go tell Lauren that your assumption was wrong. No, you can't do that. Of course you can't, because you don't lie. Oh, Miss Frickin' Perfect there, huh? Nasty, nasty, nasty people. Okay. So you are the one who is telling your daughters all this stuff because you were angry that I didn't come back to Washington. You assumed it was for a reason, which you were not correct. You also are the one who had to do my packing and moving, which I wasn't aware of. I asked my dad. He told you to do it. You were super angry. You started spreading all this nastiness about me to them, which was completely not true, which is why then when all of a sudden I chimed back in and had no idea what was going on, they all started attacking me. Shocker. I hope you all see this. I hope someone sees this. I don't care. I will never have a relationship with these disgusting people or her ever again, because every time I was around that woman, there was two things she made me feel: less than. Absolutely. It wasn't that she just made me feel, she treated me less than. Okay. And also I felt not just less than, but not a part of the family. So look at this group chat. Like literally, they're pushing me out, like, by all this stuff. I don't know what's going on. And so what happened a few weeks later, I felt so bad. I took myself out of the group chat and I've never spoke to any of them ever again, except for my sister, Michelle, who did reach out to me and said she apologized. And then when my dad was dying, I start getting messages from people saying he's dying, which I want nothing to do with any of these people ever again. And I start getting attacked by her because I won't speak to him. Yeah, you're darn right I won't speak to him. And it was your fault. Why? Yep. Jealous of our relationship. Absolutely disgusting. But it was my fault for not telling him how awful you really were. Period. I should have told my dad how you treated me every time we were alone. But I was too afraid of you. Well, I ain't afraid now. But now Bud knows. He absolutely knows. And I'm telling you, I can feel he's pissed. He's pissed and I'm pissed because you made me think that Bud was the real one that was awful. And even though he continued that message, it really came from you. You were pissed, jealous. It's disgusting. Deal with it yourself, but you don't treat children like that. Period, plain and simple. So, also, I just wanted to let you all know that Jessie, I said, hey, are you going to go to this 80th birthday thing? And she goes, I don't know. Like, I don't have a relationship with any of them. So I don't know why I would, but maybe, because it's probably the last time I'm going to see Bud. But you know what? So that girl told me that she had zero relationship with any of you and didn't like any of you and didn't care. And she was not going to go. So then when I saw that she went with her pictures of it looking real buddy, I knew she was a liar. Total, complete lies. from Sue and from Jesse. And I don't give a shit because you people have absolutely zero power over me anymore. You did when I stayed silent, but now that I'm saying it, you have zero, and God has my back. And you know what happens when God has someone's back? That's it. It's done. Oh, I'm so pissed. So, what then happened was I did not speak to my dad as he was dying, and I did not go to the funeral. There was for several reasons. One was I had just started working and at a new location and could not take the time. Two, I have 3 kids that are in school. Sorry to tell you, you people are selfish, not me. So when I reached out and I found out that it was all, Sue had told me that she was the one who knew that I had stayed because of Caden. Well, she was wrong. And then all of a sudden, it just like I had just had a revelation that that's what Lauren was saying. She was literally telling me she didn't want to ever speak to me again because of the Caden drama. And I was like, what Caden drama? I haven't talked to him in 6 months. I have no clue what you're even talking about. What is Jesse telling you? So, by the way, I do want to say I assumed it was Jesse, but I was wrong because it was Sue who assumed wrong and told y'all that. Anyway, so Jesse, for that, I do apologize. But you're still a lying, nasty person and abused me my entire life, just so you know. But anyway, I have just realized why that all happened. It's like it all, like the illusion wore off of these lies. Like, it was never me. She got all of these people to push me out like I was the nasty person in the family, and that's what she did to me as a child. She made me feel like I wasn't a part of, like I was the Cinderella, like stepchild who needed to clean up everything when no one else did. No, totally, like a Cinderella thing. That's how she treated me. Excuse you? Oh, hell no. Hell to the no. I don't think so. Step monster. Ooh. Treated me so awful when no one was around. And now, instead of speaking to me about it, instead of whatever, she used her daughters to attack me. And now it all makes sense. And I firmly believe that it is my dad's spirit who had showed me all of this, because there's no way I would have put it all together. And he has come to me and told me how sorry he is that he didn't know, because he would have done something. He would have. And I'm sorry that I didn't tell him. But I am really upset about what he did to me with the whole spirituality thing. But it came from you. He wasn't the one searching through my bag. You were. Huh. Nasty witches. That's what evil truly is. That's what witches truly do. They come around and they talk lies and gossip and deceit to try to harm another human being's reputation. And if you see it happening in the world, it has happened time and time again. Charlie Kirk, Donald Trump, all these things. I don't know them personally, but what I have seen has been complete deceit and lies to try to ruin their public reputation in the public, which it does work. It's disgusting. It is despicable. And literally, the light has come. So judgment is here. And I truly hope you understand what you have done. And it is called to look within yourself and find out where that nastiness in yourself lies and realize that you harmed someone instead of dealing with your own crap inside yourself. Okay. So welcome to the judgment. Anyway, everything made sense. It just became super clear. And Anna, I do want to say thank you, because you were the only one who did try to stay out of that. And you were always the only one who reached out to me and said things like happy birthday. So I just want to say that I appreciate you. And I'm sorry that, we obviously cannot have a relationship because of these other people, but I don't really care. Like, me and my kids' health is more important. My self-worth is more important. And that's it. But the truth needed to come out for all of my public reputation and all these people who completely spread absolute lies. If you didn't talk to me, you didn't know me, you didn't know that happened, you were wrong. Like, you were lied to. You were part of their little gang to make it look like I was a bad person and shouldn't be involved in that group chat. Dude, I'm so glad I'm not in that group chat. Because let me tell you, I have risen and risen and risen ever since that moment in my own life. Bringing back my self-worth and everything that I have is a beautiful life. And I don't need to hide anymore, and I don't need to spread lies about anyone, but it is good to tell the truth and publicly for accountability. I don't care. Let's see. I don't know if there's anything else, but if I think about it, I just need to come on live and say it, because I'm done with hiding from these monsters. The fear, their power is your silence, you staying silent about it. And I was so silent because I was so hurt by all these people. I was so ashamed. I was embarrassed. I felt like I was the bad one. And little did I know that it was the step monster and her minions. And it wasn't true. None of it was true. So, Lauren, I know, like, your mom's the one who was telling you all this stuff, but maybe you shouldn't rely on your mom, and you should reach out to people. You did once when it was Jesse. When Jesse started telling you lies and all this about me being a bad mom, so not true. You did reach out to me then. But when it was your mom, you completely shut me down. And that was wrong. It was disrespectful. It was hurtful. I had no idea why. And if you just would have told me why, I would have said that wasn't true. That was all because of Jessie. And I hope Jessie's lies unravel too, because she told me that she had no relationship with any of you, that it was a joke, and she was not going to go to the birthday party at all. She didn't like any of you. Well, that she kind of talked to Sue here and there, but the rest of you, no relationship. Just so you know. Just saying. And it all stems from jealousy of a child and her relationship with her father. Because I was so emotionally sensitive, intuitive, tapped into the spirit realm, my light shines brighter. I don't really know, other than I absolutely know that that's what it was. And sadly, the jealousy that you felt was an absolute liar too. Because your light is just as bright. until you start doing this to other human beings. And that's when it turns dark. Dark witches, that's what true evil is. It's not tarot or crystals, people. That is true evil. When these people go around to every single person and tell them lies about you to make them think you're a bad person. I don't care what they say, but then all of a sudden, all those minions start like shutting you down, and you're sitting there confused as to why or what's happening when it's all them, because they're sitting on their little white tower pissed and they use people. How do you girls feel that your mommy uses you as her defense mechanism? You know what? She even told me that too. She said, oh, because when I sent the apology video, Sue said to me, well, you know, when you attack their mom, you're going to have vicious, girls coming at you. They will defend our family to the end, like I wasn't a part of. And I was like, why do you need your daughters to defend you? That's kind of sick. Number two, I sent an apology, not an attack. See, here's what's wrong with these people. They believe that they're being attacked. No. You're not being attacked. I was signing an apology. Now you might feel attacked because it's the actual truth. But no, that's what she told me. When you're attacking our way of life, I was like, what? How am I attacking you? Anyway, I have to go take care of my kids, and I may do this again because I just need to get this out of my soul. All right. Have a good one. Tell the truth, people. Don't try to ruin other people's public reputation. If you feel such hatred towards someone, maybe you should look inside yourself and realize why you're so angry and deal with that instead of using people to harm others. Bye.